What is third-party risk management, and why is it important?
Third-party risk management, TPRM, involves assessing and managing risks associated with outsourcing to third-party vendors or partners. It's crucial because organizations often rely on third parties for critical functions, and any failure or breach within these third parties can significantly impact the organization's operations, reputation, and financial stability.
How do you prioritize risks when managing multiple third-party relationships?
Prioritizing risks involves evaluating the criticality of each third-party relationship, assessing the potential impact and likelihood of risks, and aligning them with the organization's risk appetite and objectives. We can use risk assessment frameworks, such as risk matrices, to categorize and prioritize risks based on severity and likelihood.
Can you explain the process of conducting a third-party risk assessment?
The process typically involves several steps: identification of third parties, assessment of inherent risks associated with each third party, evaluation of their control environment, mitigation of identified risks through controls or contractual agreements, and ongoing monitoring to ensure compliance and effectiveness of risk mitigation measures.
How do you ensure compliance with regulations and standards in third-party relationships?
Compliance with regulations and standards requires a thorough understanding of relevant legal and regulatory requirements, such as GDPR, HIPAA, or industry-specific standards like PCI DSS. We establish clear contractual requirements, conduct due diligence on third parties, and implement monitoring mechanisms to ensure adherence to compliance obligations throughout the relationship lifecycle.
Can you provide an example of a successful third-party risk mitigation strategy you've implemented in the past?
Certainly. In a previous role, we identified a significant cybersecurity risk associated with a third-party vendor handling sensitive customer data. To mitigate this risk, we implemented regular security assessments, conducted employee training sessions on data protection, and enforced strict access controls through multi-factor authentication. These measures not only enhanced our security posture but also strengthened our relationship with the vendor by demonstrating our commitment to safeguarding shared data.
How do you handle situations where a third party refuses to comply with risk management requirements?
When faced with non-compliance from a third party, it's essential to escalate the issue to senior management and legal counsel, if necessary. We would revisit contractual agreements to determine if there are any breach clauses or termination provisions that can be enforced. Ultimately, the organization must prioritize its interests and consider alternative vendors or strategies if the non-compliance poses a significant risk to the business.
Remember, these answers are meant to serve as examples, and it's important to tailor your responses to your own experiences and the specific requirements of the position.